Hey everyone. All right, well, it is the time, so it is time to start. Hi everyone, and welcome to Octeto's community call of July. My name is Ramiro. I'm one of the co-founders of Octeto, and I want to welcome you all. Thank you for joining us. We always do this as a way to engage with the community, to learn from each other. So thank you very much for being here. Before anything else, remember, this is for you. So if you have any questions, anything you want to chat, we have the chat on Zoom. If you're on Zoom, we'll be checking on the chat on YouTube as well. So feel free to ask any questions, clarifications, or if you want to share what you're building on Octeto, that will be fantastic. So today, we're going to be talking about preview environments. Actually, it was kind of a coincidence, but we invited the team from OctoBot, Guillaume and Herklos, and they're going to talk about how they use preview environments, how they use Octeto. And then coincidentally, we are about to release our new preview environments feature. So Abdul is going to share, going to give us a sneak peek on how that looks like. So it's going to be a very cool, I think, community call. So I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, well, preview environments, for those of you who haven't used this before, preview environments is the concept where when you create a pull request on GitHub, on GitLab, or anywhere else where you're hosting your code, you can use tools like Octeto or others to attach an environment, a live environment, to your PR. The main idea behind preview environments is that as applications get more complex, as you have microservices, third-party APIs, all those things, just looking at your database, at your code change, sometimes it's not enough, right? Like imagine that you're making a change in an API contract or maybe in a migration script. It's very hard for someone to kind of pick up the change on a PR and say, hey, you're missing a comma here, or this API is breaking this other code we're making in this other part of the code. However, if on top of the code changes, you have a live copy of your environment, that makes it a lot easier for people to see the changes, to catch any issues that you might have. And for me, one of the coolest things is that it allows people who traditionally might not be involved in a pull request, think of, your design team, your QA team, your PMs, even some customers. Now they can also be part of this PR because they can actually see the end result of your changes. And they can go to the browser, call your API, any of those things. So this is really cool. There's a lot of tools out there, that give you these, Heroku and Runnable were kind of the tools that I think kind of started the whole idea behind preview environments. But now you have a lot more. And Octeto, this is one of the use cases that we've been using from day one. As you know, one of the biggest ideas behind Octeto is the idea that you have a realistic dev environment. And dev environments and preview environments are very similar. And that's kind of what took us to kind of like start building more features around this. So Abdul, when it's his turn, will show you what this new preview environment feature looks like. But before that, I would like to welcome Guillaume and Herklos to our committee call. They are the team behind OctoBot, and they were gracious enough to accept our invitation to come here and share with the community how they use Octeto, and share some of their experiments they've been doing around preview environments and dev environments on demand. So thank you so much for being here. I know it's late in Paris, but thank you so much. And the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ramiro. So I will start by sharing the screen. I guess you should be able to see the screen. Yeah, perfect. So let's start with OctoBot. OctoBot is an open source trading robot. Quickly, a word about us. I'm Guillaume, and this is Herklos, and we are both very passionate about development and new technologies. More specifically, finance and trading. We both love Python, the Python programming language. We think it's a really great language because you can do so many things with it, and it's also very easy to start with. Anyway, we are both open source developers, and we are working on OctoBot since 2018.
Sí, tiene que dar unas vueltas.
So why OctoBot? We believe that trading should be accessible to anyone who is interested in it. What does it mean? It means that it doesn't matter if you are someone who is very rich or someone who is not so very rich, or you don't have the knowledge or you have it. If you are interested in finance and in making your money work for you, investing, you should be able to do it. So anyone should be able to have a tool which is accessible, so which is free, which is also easy to use, because not everyone is a pro of investments or trading. But it should also be customizable, because we don't all have the same goals. Some people want to take a lot of risks, other people are more conservative and want to make gains little by little every day. We all have different goals. So with OctoBot, the idea is that as a user, you can focus on what you want. To start with, OctoBot is allowing you to trade cryptocurrencies. And one of the things that people love to do in the crypto world is to explore different projects. There are very famous projects, and there are also new projects that are few months or few years old, and it's very interesting and rewarding to find those projects and invest in them early. You can think of it like investing in a startup. If you found startups like Uber or Airbnb very early on, you could have made a lot of money on it. So a lot of people love doing it on the crypto world. You can also be a very different profile and love to trade and optimize trading strategies. So you should be able to do it too. Or you might be someone who wants to do a little bit of finance and trading, but not that much, and do something else. It's fine too. OctoBot allows you to do it. Now, on the more developer side of the thing, what is OctoBot? It's a fully open source software that is available on GitHub. It's coded in Python, so that it's very accessible for everyone, or at least with a little bit of knowledge in development. Python is an interpreted language, so sometimes it can be a little bit slow. And for trading robots, depending on the strategy, it might be useful to be very quick at reacting and doing a lot of computation. So for this, we added Cython optimization. What is Cython? So the idea is that it takes Python code, it transforms the Python code into C code, and the C code is then compiled on the computer you're on. So it compiled for Windows, Linux, or whatever. This allows for a lot of improvement in performance. It can be sometimes 100 times faster to run Python code that went through Cython optimization and compilation. So it can be very useful for trading robots. OctoBot is designed to be completely modular via a plugging system. We call it tentacles, and there are tentacles for everything. The whole web interface, for example, the interface you use when you are using OctoBot is a plugin. So everyone can change it. It's all in Python. You can improve it. You can use another one if you want. It's the same for everything in OctoBot. So if you want to get data from different trading provider, you can. If you want to get data from, let's say, Reddit or Google, you can. It's all plugins, and any developer can add a plugin to add a data source that OctoBot can trade on. OctoBot leverages a lot of open source technologies also and environment, mostly around GitHub, and it's all automated through GitHub Actions. We have GitHub Action for basically everything. We obviously test all of our modules using GitHub Action, but it's also used for Cython optimization. Basically, when we publish a new version, GitHub Actions are doing the site and optimization and publishing the new version with all those optimization. Every OctoBot module is published on pypi.org also, so you can install OctoBot using the Python package manager pip, so to just install OctoBot like any other package. We use also Nexus to store our plugins. It's a publicly available Nexus so that everyone can use it. OctoBot is available obviously on Docker too, so it's on Docker Hub. And we use Octeto for the preview environment. Everyone can submit an improvement, a new feature, or a fix on OctoBot, and it will be almost instantly available in a preview environment on Octeto. So we will see it. We'll see it actually now with an example of a pull request that Herklos made. So let's say I arrive on GitHub, I go on my pull requests, and I see that I got a new pull request assigned here to add a new button in the layout. So let's say what's going on. So, okay, there is a news. There is a new news tab. So in the tab system of the web interface, the code is not so important, so we will go fast on it. The important thing is this. So there is a comment that arrived like almost instantly when the pull request got created that allows me to create a preview environment on Octeto. And this preview environment will be built using the the pull request code. So there will be the changes that Herklos is proposing in this pull request. So now we switched on my Octeto account, and Octeto starts to build this OctoBot instance using the pull request new code. So we can say that it creates the Docker image and it will build it. It will take some time, like around 5 minutes. So we'll continue on the demo and we'll show you what actually OctoBot looks like. So Herklos will continue with the demo.
Hello, I will show you a walkthrough to the OctoBot web interface. So in another namespace of Guillaume's Octeto account, there is already deployed OctoBot instance here. So I will just click on the endpoint, and here I am on a new OctoBot instance, where here is the main dashboard of the OctoBot. Here is the BTC, so Bitcoin price versus dollar. Here is there is a lot of variation. So you have the current price here. You can see what happened. Here is your current profit. So here, since OctoBot starts, there is 0.6% of profit. So I will show you the trading page. So here you have the dashboard of what you are currently trading and what OctoBot is currently doing. Here you can see that you are currently trading BTC and Ethereum. So it is the two main cryptocurrencies. Here, OctoBot is not doing any order. An order is something OctoBot is asking the exchange. So an exchange is the platform where to exchange cryptocurrencies. So here, OctoBot is doing nothing, but when something has to be made, it appears here. The portfolio page is where assets, OctoBot assets are displayed. Here you can see BTC and USD. You have we have some of the two crypto. It's a virtual portfolio. To test OctoBot, when you start a new OctoBot, there is some assets, some virtual assets to to test OctoBot before using it with real money. So here is this 0.2 BTC is not real money, it's only testing money. You can then configure your OctoBot with default profiles. So what is an OctoBot profile? An OctoBot profile is a default configuration that specify what to trade, how to trade it, where to trade it. There is multiple strategy in OctoBot. The first is statistics strategy. So they are based on math algorithm. I will show you an example of it. Here is the RSI. So this is another graph of Bitcoin versus USD. And here is a graph of the RSI. It's a financial indicator that shows the strength of the current trend. Here you can see that RSI has lows and highs. When the RSI is low, it is a good opportunity to buy some Bitcoins. And where the RSI is high, it's a good opportunity to sell Bitcoin because the price is overbuy or it's really high. So we have a strategy that use this indicator to know when to buy and when to sell. Here, it's a sign to signal to buy. So OctoBot bought here, then it waits. And here, it's a sell opportunity. So OctoBot sold Bitcoin here and bought here. The RSI was low. And here it sold Bitcoins. And during this time, we had a really great profit because it bought low and sold high. It's an example of a strategy. We have different strategy. We have per mathematical strategy that is based on only mathematical model. Here it's the grid trading. It creates different buy order at different price to try to catch price drops and price ups to be sure to be profitable at the end. We have also social strategy that, for example, buy when Elon Musk is buying Bitcoin and sell when Elon Musk is selling Bitcoins. To continue on OctoBot configuration, here you can select which cryptocurrency to trade. Where to trade here? We trade on Binance, that basically the main exchange for cryptocurrency trading. And here the trading settings that are first the simulation trading. Here we are in simulation, so I can configure here my simulating portfolio, but I can also enable real trading. So when I enable real trading, OctoBot will use money that I have on Binance to trade with my real money. Here you can configure some accounts to do other things. Here, the backtesting feature is really interesting because it allows our users to understand better how OctoBot will perform with the current setup. So here I have a monthly file that represents historical market data during this month. So I will select it and start using this historical data on my current strategy. I will just wait OctoBot to perform this backtesting. And in the end, I have a graph of the Bitcoin price during this month with the strategy that creates some orders. I will just zoom in. So here I have a green dot to know that OctoBot bought here. It did nothing there, and here is sold. He sold also here and bought here. In the end, OctoBot did 2.5% of gain during this backtesting, but the market lost 3.2% lost 2.3%. So OctoBot did a pretty good performance. So it basically gained have 5% profit during this backtesting, and I can know how OctoBot is working with this strategy because I can see that it tries to buy during market drops here and sell during market high here. An important value for us is the transparency. We are always trying to show how OctoBot is working and to let our users verify that is the reality. So here you have statistics about how many OctoBot are currently running. And you can also see more data about OctoBot that is currently running. You can see on which exchange that OctoBots are running, which strategies they are using, and also what currency they are trading. So they are mainly trading BTC, so Bitcoin. With this data, you can also create your own strategy. You can say zero of OctoBot are currently trading, I don't know, a specific cryptocurrency. So it can be a great opportunity to trade it because any zero OctoBot are trading it. In the help page, you can find some useful link like the OctoBot documentation page. Here is a lot of documentation about how to set up an OctoBot, how to use different interfaces and advanced feature, how to use advanced feature. And an about page about how to do different things. I will let Guillaume continue the presentation.
So now if we go back to our pull requests, so the initial, the first part of the demo, we saw a pull request made by Herklos, who wanted to add a new tab on the OctoBot web interface. So to add some information about it, when anyone creates a pull request on one of our repositories, there is a GitHub action that will automatically create a comment. And with this command, you can, in one click, deploy a temporary environment on Octeto. So let's see how the deployment went. So we were here, and we can see that OctoBot Tentacles, which is the name of the repository, is deployed. And here is the endpoint. So there we are. It starts a new OctoBot. So we accept the things and we skip the tutorial because we're not here for it. But we can see here that there is this new tab, the news tab, which was not here before. So it's the object of the pull request, which we saw earlier. If we click on it, it doesn't work because there is no actual web page under this news tab, but it's here. So it's really the pull request code that is running, which is really nice because it allows anyone to add anything to OctoBot, and reviewers or other people from the community, they can just try it and give feedbacks on how to improve it and how to basically make OctoBot better without having to wait for release cycles, which can sometimes be slow, or anyway, you can have improvements that comes much faster, which is really better. To go back on what's going on here, we have anyone who can fork any OctoBot repository. They can make pull requests to request changes, improvement, fixes on OctoBot. And there is this Octeto feature. There is the GitHub action. Yeah, there is this GitHub action feature that will automate the command that will be published so that we can have the preview environment working. Now, how does it work? Basically, GitHub action triggers. There is this comment which appears with the custom deployment and the custom link to create the deployment based on this pull request changes. And the Octeto pipeline creates the ephemeral deployment, which contains the pull request branch. Now, if we have a look at the code on how this is achieved, we can see that it's actually pretty simple. It's all in 3 files. We have one for the GitHub workflow, which is GitHub action, which is responsible for the comments, the auto-publish of the comment, and then there are 2 Octeto pipelines files which describe how to create this ephemeral environment. Herklos will now describe these files. Thanks.
So here you have a GitHub action workflow file. It names comments. It is triggered when a pull request is open here. It creates the Octeto job. It clones the OctoBot project and set the environment variable named Git branch. That is basically the Git branch name of this PR. And then command this PR with a message, and in the end, a link to an Octeto deployment link with the branch name in the end. So what this link refers to, it refers to an Octeto pipeline that will be triggered at the press of the button. So it will first clone the OctoBot project, set different OctoBot variables, that is the tentacles download URL or other variables. So also the Docker image name to build. It will then use Octeto build command to build the OctoBot container and deploy the OctoBot container with Octeto stack deploy that will call our Octeto stack file that is basically like a Docker compose file. It will create an OctoBot service with the image we just built and with the environment variable that we just set for tentacles download. It will also publish the web interface port and set some resources for this instance. I will let Guillaume continue.
So that's actually the end of the presentation. Thank you for your attention, and well, we are here for your questions.
Thank you very much, Guillaume. That was a very nice presentation and an amazing project you have. It's really exciting to see how you use Octeto. That's very good. Okay, so I will be giving a sneak peek of what we've been building at Octeto. And so my name is Abdul. I'm Developer Advocate at Octeto. And over the past, this month, the engineers here have been working tirelessly on making everything easy. So we've been working on previews, on how to segregate our preview environments from actual namespaces. And so first we need to look at the new preview GitHub action, because deploying preview environments at Octeto, you can either use a GitHub action or you can use GitLab CI/CD files. And now we have a new deploy preview action that was worked on by two amazing engineers at Octeto. And I'm just going to give you a brief rundown on how the GitHub action works. At the moment, it is not yet available for the public, so we'll be releasing this in a couple of weeks. Stay tuned. And so the first thing to note here is the reduction in size of your workflow. And the new workflow file, or the GitHub action I've just published here, deploys your preview environment separately to a new tab. Although not yet available for cloud, preview environments will be deployed in a separate section on the website. Before or currently, when you deploy a preview action like you saw in Guillaume's demonstration, a new namespace is created for your preview environment. But instead, we want to separate your preview environment and your application namespace so there will be less collisions. Now, this is just an example. So we can make changes from here. But before that, I want to demonstrate and show you how this works. So currently, we use the deploy preview action here, and it runs normally. However, there are two scopes when deploying your preview environments now. And the personal scope is the default scope for cloud users, while there's another scope for Octeto enterprise users, which is the global scope. And the global scope is useful in scenarios where you want the whole team to be able to access your preview environments. But the personal scope is for you alone. That is, no one can access your preview environment except you. So I'm going to go ahead and create changes here. I'm going to update the version here. In a new separate branch, I'm going to create a pull request. And the pull request triggers the birth of a new preview environment. So go on to actions here and click on this. And then we can monitor the changes. Previously, we have to create namespaces, then deploy the application, but now you don't. Octeto just logs in and automatically creates the namespace. However, in the preview section here, so when I reload, I'll wait for the application to build. Okay. Alongside the new GitHub action that we have at Octeto and the new section, we have also introduced deploying or creating preview environments and also destroying preview environments from the Octeto CLI. This is also a common change that we should see, or should I say the user should expect in a couple of weeks. It could be ending of this month, it could be sooner or later. Let's keep you in suspense for that. So while we wait for this to build, here, our preview environments. Okay, waiting for preview environments to finish. And go back to this, reload. And your preview environments, you have a list of environments you've deployed. Currently, this is the name of the pull request. This is the link to the pull request that the preview environment is made from. And the scope here is personal because this is for repository. And when you open it, you have a new tab and you can monitor the progress just like it is in the actions here. So once this is done, an endpoint is also generated. Here, we have a pull request and everything is deployed. Earlier, I said we also have the preview environments commands on Octeto CLI. And the scenarios that this applies is in cases where you don't want to make changes to your repository, or you just immediately want to push an environment up so that everybody can have a view. This is where the command comes into play. Currently, I have an application deployed on my namespace here. It's guestbook, and you could write anything. However, in a scenario where you are to make changes to maybe the name of this application, but you don't want to submit the changes until everyone in your organization or your team member, or should I say maybe your team lead, has to take pushing multiple commits, you could make changes and then create a preview environment. So how do you create a preview environment to the CLI? Now, this is the same application as that which I showed just a moment ago. I would like to change the heading. So instead, I'm going to say Okteto's guestbook. Waiting for database connection. You see, why don't you think of an entry? Ideally, I'll have to push these changes to, because Octeto now provides the command Octeto preview deploy. Now, when you use this command, under the hood, Octeto uses the same process as it will in GitHub Actions to create a preview environment. So when we go back to our dashboard and we go to previews here, you can see here the preview environment has been created and has been deployed. However, it is loading. Then, if you would notice in our newly deployed preview environment, there is no pull request number here. This is to show you that the pull request here was created from the CLI. However, in this other one, you could click on this and it takes you directly to the pull request where the preview environment was created. So when we open this, application has been deployed, an endpoint is generated all over. And when you click on this, you have your changes. Okay, we did not save this. Okay, so we have to save this and make changes again. While we wait for that, I also want to introduce the destroy stack. The destroy stack is used. So in an event where I merge this pull request, another action is triggered. This time around, it is to create or to delete the preview environments we have in our namespace. So when we go here and go back to the previews and we wait. While we wait for that action to finish, when you create multiple preview environments of your application, it is listed here and likewise the scope too. This same application can also be deployed. A preview environment for this application also be deployed from the command line. So we go back to our actions here. Okay, this has been deleted. Okay, so when we reload, we can no longer find that of the fast API. Okay, so I think the reason why this is not updating is because of its image. Instead, we are going to, okay. That aside, how do you delete preview environments from the CLI? Just like we have Octeto preview deploy, we have Octeto preview destroy. But destroy in this case takes an argument, name, the name of the application you want to destroy. Before going that, I spoke about scopes when creating namespaces, your preview environment. So these are personal environments and anybody else on my team can have access to it. And in an event where I want to create for everyone, that is a global scope, I'm going to use preview deploy scope in global. When I reload to see the new one, yeah, that's the global namespace. That is, each member of my team has access to this preview environment and can see changes that I've made continuously. Now, to destroy, you have Octeto destroy, Octeto preview, destroy. Now, we want to destroy this namespace here. So what we need to do is copy the name of the preview environment here. This is flamboyance here. And when we move back here, say destroy this. When you run the command, the preview environment is destroyed immediately. So when you run the same command for both of them, it works. So to do a quick summary, here are a list of objects we're expecting. We have new GitHub actions, deploy and destroy stack, which works specifically for GitHub actions. And we have the new preview environment sections here that lists your preview environment. You can open this to check the status of your application, is it properly deployed from what branch. And the most interesting part is you can create and destroy namespaces directly from your terminal. That will be all. And if Ramiro is going to give us a little bit of what we should expect again, Ramiro.
Thanks, Abdul. That was a really cool demo. This is some of the stuff we've been working on for the last month or so. So it's super exciting to be able to show it live first. This is something that is not yet available on Octeto Cloud. It's something we're showing you straight out of our staging servers. So first time everyone outside of the team has seen it. So I hope you like it. It'll be coming online pretty soon. I'm not gonna force the team to a date, but it's coming really soon. So keep an eye on our Twitter and our Twitter account and our docs. It'll be coming really soon. But if you have any feedback on this, please reach out. We are on a Slack. We have the Octeto channel in the Kubernetes Slack. We're also on Twitter as @OctetoHQ. And you can find us all on Twitter and DM us. We're always looking forward to talk to more teams to see what they think about what we're building. At the end, we're a bunch of engineers building tools for other engineers. So talking to everyone, it's always the thing I personally like to do the most. So before we head out, Guillaume and Herklos, I have a question for you. I know you're still, hope you're still there. Great. So as I was looking at your presentation, it's really cool. It's amazing how many different things OctoBot does. If I want to collaborate with OctoBot, I want to contribute, what's the easiest way to do that? Like, what's the first thing that me as a, I know Python, I like, the whole crypto world. How do I contribute? What is the first thing that I should do?
First thing is, I guess in the docs is the best thing to start. There is a description of how OctoBot is built. If I can share my screen, I guess it will be easier. There is an documentation with architecture, which is sorry. Yeah. So here is describe the OctoBot architecture and how to set up the project. Basically, it describes what are evaluator strategies, trading modes, how the whole update cycle works when you receive data from exchanges, from Facebook, Twitter, or anything, and basically how it goes from this to creating an order. This is how to set up your environment, your development environment. The OctoBot code is split into different modules, so you can test them separately. It's easier this way. So if you want to build a whole project, you have to set up a development environment with all those modules. We show you in this guide on how to do it. We take the example of PyCharm, which is what we personally use to develop OctoBot. So this is how you can set up the environment, the development environment, how to do with Python import through different projects, and basically how to start OctoBot then. So once you have this development environment, if you want to, let's say, improve the web interface, it's all in the plugin section. So it's OctoBot tentacles, which is explained in this doc. But yeah, you can easily find the code then and change it. It's Python, so it's pretty readable. We also have a community a Discord server and a Telegram server with many people who are here to help. So it's both of us, but also like many people who are already developing on OctoBot who can provide you with help on how to do this and how to solve this problem.
Perfect. That's really cool. So you have a GitHub repo. OctoBot is the main repo, and then Discord and Telegram are the ways that people can reach out and kind of get help, get started.
You can all find it in OctoBot.
Oh, perfect. So OctoBot online. Let me share that with everyone on YouTube as well.
And you have all the links.
I think I have a question to Guillaume.
Sure.
Yeah. So looking at your GitHub actions, is there a reason why you choose to manually create, or should I say deploy changes in pull requests instead of automatically, creating your preview environments?
Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Sure. In your GitHub requests and pull requests, when a change is made, you have to manually deploy the application containing the change in that code. And what is normal, or should I say the most common method that we use at Octeto, is automatically build, changes immediately. Is there a reason why you prefer to build yours manually instead of having the GitHub actions automatically build it?
We didn't think this through a lot. That's the most convenient way we found, because we don't always need to create a preview environment for every changes, because there are many changes that do not even affect the web interface. So usually you can see it through tests, and we don't need a preview environment for it. So to save resources, we thought it's better not to create it all the time, but we could do this also. Yeah,
that's pretty interesting. No, that's a good question, Abdul. Makes a lot of sense. We normally talk about preview environments for every PR, but there's a really cool use case around, hey, not every single PR needs the entire thing. And I like the way you did it, because I feel like it gives the reviewer the power to say, okay, I want a preview environment right now, click here. So it's a really cool way to go. It's very interesting, and it's great that you're seeing value already. So you mentioned everything is on Python, right?
Yep.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Okay, so one more last question. Do you mind sharing with us, Guillaume, should I say, what you like most about Octeto's preview environment?
What's the value for you when you decided to kind of do this preview environment? What was the main kind of reason?
Cool.
Think about people who might be hearing about this and they're thinking, hey, is this worth the effort?
The main value for preview environment, it's to get feedback for when people they submit something, they say, I want to do this, and it's like when you're developing and you make a demo of what you're doing, you can make much quicker demonstration of what happened on your development, and you can get feedback from people of your community much faster. Like you can say, let's say in 10 minutes, publish a link of, hey, what about OctoBot on this new color system? Or I built this new app, and what do you think about it? You just share the link and people give you feedback about it. And it's really powerful because you don't need to go through all the release cycle. You don't need to do all these things that take a lot of time when you have almost instant feedback.
Oh, that's very
cool.
Good. Very interesting.
I like the instant feedback. That's a really cool way of putting it. That's great. Well, I'm really happy that you were here. I don't know, Abdul, do you have any more questions? People on YouTube are shy, but I'm sure I've been tweeting about this. So I'm sure we'll be hearing more later on this. But I want to thank you again, Guillaume and Herklos, for being part of the community, reaching out.
Thank you for the invitation.
Spending time. No, thanks to you. Appreciate the effort being here and showing us. It's really cool. I'm looking forward to collaborate more. It's really interesting what you guys are doing, and we'll definitely keep sending people from our community to check out OctoBot. I think it's a great example of how you can use different tools to build really cool solutions, and I love the what you said early on about like you're building this to make it easier for everyone to be part of
Yeah.
crypto and not just like rich people. I think that's super important as we keep hearing more and more on crypto. So, well, thank you very much for being here, and Abdul, thank you so much. It was a super exciting demo. I'm very happy that we can finally show this to everyone. It's been cooking, as they say, for a while, so it's great to show it. And to everyone watching this video, check it out. Please join our channel. Our community is on the Kubernetes Slack.
Kubernetes Slack. Yep.
There's a Octeto channel there. We're also on Twitter, and now Abdul is publishing a lot of video content. So, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please let us know. Vote, star our repos on GitHub. Same for OctoBot. All that is really useful for us to know whether you like what we're doing, if you find it useful or not. As we all said earlier, we're building this because we want to build cool tools for people to be able to build their own cool stuff. So please let us know what you want to hear about, what you want to see, and if you want to come to this call and show us what you're building, we love that. So please reach out to me or to Abdul on Twitter. We'll be publishing the call after this. We'll put some links there for anybody who's watching the call in their own time. And thank you, everyone. It was great having you. Thanks, everyone in the audience. We're seeing you, and we'll see you online.
Yep. See you at the next community call.
That's right. See you in August. And until then, happy coding.